It was very
Can
weird.
you hear it? Oh, can you hear it now though?
I think so. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
can hear
you're
me
good.
now?
You're good.
Okay, then I'll just switch it over to this one. I think everybody can be heard on this one. But yeah, as I was saying, you find where all of the food and all that kind of stuff would be, and where you would see like the weaponry that these people carry, and I think that's when you've probably spent a good couple hours surveying the area, and I think we move to Tenari. You are probably just sitting like at this big screen watching all the dinos from your security cameras, making sure they're behaving and doing what they're supposed to. And it's fairly early in the morning. And that's when a mint green screen envelops all of your security cameras. And then the wave of like someone speaking comes across, and it's this female robotic voice, and she says, Tenari Varric, you have selected to work with armor, correct?
Yes.
We need you to step outside, please.
Okay.
And you step outside, and she goes, watch your step. And like you look down, and there's some like big wet mess on the ground.
Like what kind of wet mess are we talking
It
about?
just looks like spilled some water or something all over the ground, like in this room.
Just tiptoe over it, like.
And yeah, as you go out, and like it's almost like clockwork, there's a knock at the door.
Coming.
Yeah, she goes, answer the door, it's fine.
Who is that? I just like open the door.
Yeah, and when you do, you open up this door, and there is like this 6.5 foot tall robotic figure that would almost remind you, Tyler, of Pathfinder a bit. But maybe a bit more like curved. No, curved, like more refined. Like her armor is more ovular than it is just like robotics, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like it looks like she's wearing an armor over her robotic legs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And instead of just like the one big eye, she has like I think probably like two smaller eyes, and her head is more her head I think looks more like the robot from WALL-E. What is the girl robot from WALL-E?
Eve.
Eve. Okay, I thought it was. I wanted to make sure. Her eyes look more like Eve's eyes, and she says, "Hello, I'm Trajectory, and I work for Armor. We're here to pick you up. Are you ready to go?"
What? Whoa, wait. What all do I need to bring?
We suggest that you bring one dinosaur, preferably medium size or smaller. Sorry, the big fellows just won't fit properly.
Okay. Give me a few minutes.
That is fine. I wait right here for you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I just like leave the door open. So like if they want to come inside, they can.
Yeah, no, it stands right there waiting for you.
Awesome. I definitely run, and like I throw on all, like jungle gear and stuff, and I write a note saying, "Be back soon, maybe?" question mark. And just like leave it on the front desk. And I run and I go grab a Dilophosaur. Sure.
And she says, "All right, make sure you're ready to go. Are you ready?"
Not a Dilophosaur, a Dimetrodon.
Okay.
Is that what it is? Do you know what I'm talking about? No, that's not what... A Dimorphodon. That's what it is. I couldn't... Look, it's a lot of names. I grab a Dimorphodon. I go, "Come on, Trace," and I throw him on my shoulder.
Okay, yeah. So Tracy grabs on, and she goes, "Here, grab this buckle," and she hands you like a climbing buckle.
okay, and like I grab it.
Yeah, and she goes, now cinch that to your waist. Make sure it's secure.
Oh, why do I need to do that? And like I say, like I hook it on. Like
You hook it
why do I
on
need to
and
do this?
yeah, and then she definitely pathfinders you. She shoots like this gigantic like grappling hook into the sky. And as you look up, you see that same ship that EightyFive saw earlier. You hear like a thud, and she goes, "We have connected," and it starts pulling you guys up into the air.
I imagine like the cartoonish like arms and legs just like flailing behind. Just...
Yeah, I like the idea that it's like your eyes were stay there, and your eyes catch up to you later. And there's like a big thing of wind. Yeah, and so you guys get launched onto it, and I think trajectory lands fine. And if you would like to do so, Tenari, make the inaugural roll of Project
Oh.
Cypher. Would you like to make an acrobatics check to see if you land on your feet?
Yes, I would. This is gonna be probably. Can I have advantage since I have a grappling hook?
No, that's fair. You are attached to her, so I would say you land gracefully, but maybe at the cost of your dinosaur just flopping on it like a potato. Like you're like, I'm good, but like then you realize your hands are both out like this, and your dinosaur is laying on like the dock.
I just go Trace and run like right over to him.
Yeah, and so you grab him, and then Trajectory says, head to the captain's quarters. You will meet Director Price there. Bye-bye. And like you see her use the same grappling hook to fling around the side of the ship, and she disappears off into the distance.
I have no idea where the captain's quarters are.
I think you would best guess that the captain's quarters would be like at the center of the ship, and you can kind of see like it's almost like they have it mapped out for you, like where to go.
Yeah, I definitely just go to the captain's quarters.
Yeah, and so you get there, and Director Price says, "Tenari Varick, pleasure to meet you, Director Price," and he extends his hand to you.
I definitely just like grab his hand and give him a good old firm handshake.
Yeah, and I think the blonde lady who was with him earlier, looks at Director Price and goes, "He's taller than I expected."
What's that supposed to mean?
No, nothing at all. Just, halfling. And so she turns around and continues her work. And he says, I'll show you to your room. Do you have any questions while you're here?
Am I gonna be able to bring any more of my dinos?
We will acquire the dinosaurs as needed. It's best to not have those assets on a floating ship.
They're not gonna go. Well, not the ones that I would bring aren't gonna go crazy.
Yeah, that's what we're afraid of. And I think like he shows you to your room, and you can see next to you is EightyFive room. So you see like all this like hardware, and machinery, and things like that in there. And he takes you to your room, and it's very like it kind of makes. It's probably got like a hammock and a place for your dinosaur to sleep, and it's got like a working table like where you can work on different things for your dinosaur that's there, like whether it be like food or maybe some potions for it or something for you to work on yourself. And with that, he says, we'll have more information for you soon. We have to pick up our last variable. And then he says, if you'd like any food, it's in the west hangar. You know how to get there. It's on the west side. And then he the door closes, and he goes, all right, now the hard one. I think we pan. I would imagine that EightyFive is not back in his room yet, and Tenari is spending some time in his room working on things and making this place feel like home to him because he doesn't know how long he'd be there. And next we have this moment where It's probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Dusk is setting, and
It's always broody and dark.
there's a thick smug fog over the top of the city. And that's whenever we get over the top of the city where Jebediah lives. And the lady that was with Director Price says, "What is that over there, sir?" And he says, "That's Xandrick. We don't own Xandrick." So she says, "Oh, that's where he's from, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah, but we're going to need him." And I think instead of them going this time, you see Director Price go, "I'll handle this one alone." And you see the scene of him walk out. He jumps off the side of the airship and he like lands into the city, and you get a phone call, Jebediah, and he says, "I'm here. Where do you want to meet?"
Is there like a bar or something here in this city that I could be staying at temporarily?
Okay. There's definitely like some shady bar that like the reason you can stay there is because you can beat anybody up that tries to mess with you.
Mhm. Come meet me at the grease spot.
Yeah, and he says, "I'll be there in 10." And I think we see Director Price just walk there in this very well done up person walking through the streets of Xandrick. You would think like he doesn't belong there, and he shows up in the bar probably maybe 15, 20 minutes later, and he sits down and he finds you, Jebediah, and he says, "All right."
No, I find him. I'm coming out of a room, and I put my hat back on, and I kind of like it's kind of like I guess like it's kind of like a saloon. I guess it would be like, and I was kind of like standing up like above the railing, like looking down at the patrons, and then I spot the one outlier in the entire bar, and I'll sit next to him.
Yeah, and he says, "Jebediah Underwood. That is your name, right?"
Nice. That is my name.
We see around here you go by the Gunslinger. Any reason for that?
That's just what people call me.
It's fair enough. Well, let me grab 2 drinks here. What do you like? It's on me.
Whiskey. Neat.
Yeah, and I think the bar tender comes over, says 2 whiskeys, make it the good stuff. And they bring over 2 like full glasses of whiskey, not just like little shots. Like they hooked us up. And he says, "So we have word of some criminal activity around here that I think you might have heard about before, and we need your help stopping them."
In Xandrick?
And
There's
here,
always criminal activity here.
this is more than just your typical criminal. This is well organized, thought out, and meticulous. Something that a group of us can't do, and we need a couple of people with more power than normal to handle this situation.
Hmm. Are we talking terrorism? What?
One might be led to believe that. It would probably be safer to believe that. At least you would know what you're up against then.
Seems like you're purposefully leaving out a lot of information.
Well, how else am I supposed to get you back to join us?
By giving me a little bit of something.
And he says, "You'll have all you'll need on the airship." And I think like he says airship like, that's right, we have an airship. Like
I ain't never been on an airship.
I never been on them there airships.
yeah, and I think like you would, knowing your demeanor and like where we're at, you might question how like Director Price's ability to defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
He probably looks like, he's more of like a formality desk jockey that just has to come out and do these kinds of things. Doesn't You know what I mean? Like to you, you're like a seasoned veteran of the dark area, and he's well dressed in a 5-piece suit, and like not a scratch on him, and he's just kind of being like, "Hey, it's time to go, buddy."
You ain't really dressed for the occasion, yeah.
He says, "I'm dressed for any occasion."
Well, you stand out here like a sore thumb.
Well, I don't think anyone will be bothering me, at least for their sake. And he takes a big swig of his whiskey. And I think about that time, that's when a bar fight breaks out in the saloon.
Mm.
And, it's your typical Western fight. They're fighting over cards.
Yeah. I
And,
think it's time to go.
Yeah, I think like as you say that, there's a guy on top of Director Price. And he goes, "One moment," and you see like a flurry of blows come across this guy's head, and then the release of 7 to 8 rounds into multiple targets in the room, and they all fall. And he goes, "These guys were all on the wanted list, anyways. Let's get out of here."
What are you?
A monk.
And he goes, "I'm a director. I direct things."
Lead the way.
And yeah, he takes you back up to the airship. You guys walk back, and yeah, you guys get back up, and I think like this one, he just hands you a jetpack. There is no like stipulation or anything weird to it. He knows that you're like a dead to rights, point A to point B kind of guy. So he just throws you a jetpack, and he goes, "We're up there. I'll see you in a moment." And you can't really see the ship, but you can see the red ring around it.
Right, the light around it.
Mm. And you're like, if I aim for those flames, I shouldn't die. And yeah, you guys land there, and he waits for you, and he says, "All right, Jebediah, I'll show you to your area where you can stay and do whatever you may need to do." So you guys begin doing the walk. You see EightyFive's room, and it's like this big, like I said before, it's full of mechanical, big machines and tools and nuts and bolts and large, just different things. The next room, you see this halfling in this like jungle type area, and he's just laying out on a hammock, and it appears like he's maybe just reading or something. And you see like some kibble bits on the chair. And yeah, so you finally make it to your room, and in your room there is a lone chair, a rickety desk, a dangling yellow light with a big lampshade over it, and on it is that one file folder closed.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and I think you like sit down, and Price closes the door and he goes, "That's so not his room. Why would we give him that? No bed. That's just so disrespectful." Like he's like talking to himself out loud. And I think right there we have the three of you in there all doing something. We will take our second break here. We'll go one more hour after this. So stick around, guys, and I hope you guys are having a great time. We'll be right back.